Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Drink and Dairy with Kelly and Jerry. Jerry, it's always a pleasure to see you.
You as well.
Thank you. I noticed that we happen to wear the same shirt today.
It's cold outside.
It is cold outside. Also, we talked about it.
Yeah, we are in cahoots in many ways, but this doesn't happen a whole lot.
Only when it's cold outside.
Only when last week when we were together last, it was 80 degrees.
It sure was, and we were talking about how nice it is to be able to go outside.
Yes, and now we try to avoid it.
And Reed's like, let's go outside. I'm like, it's cold.
It's very cold.
He says, not cold. I'm like, but it is.
It's too cold for the spring scavenger hunt
Yes.
today.
Speaking of, the cold front came through on Easter. We were out finding eggs, and it got colder and colder while we were egg hunting.
Did your egg hunt go well?
Our egg hunt did go well. How about yours?
Well, it ended up wonderful.
Wonderful.
But as you may know, we had some wonderful helpers of the Easter Bunny this year because we were not all together. And we had the eggs that the bunny would provide for us to have for the kids, but it would be difficult to know where all the kids lived. So the Easter Bunny had helpers this year. Mm-hmm. Deliver eggs late at night to the different,
dark.
which is dark, hard to see.
Right.
To the homes of where many of where the children in the church live. Mm-hmm. And so I thought I heard a bunny helper outside late that night, about 11:30. So Saturday night, I went out about 11:30, and I didn't see anything, but it was dark. And I thought, well, I'd just go out and check early in the morning. So Sunday morning, I got up early, and I went outside, and I looked to find, because we do have our 2-year-old granddaughter at the house with us. And I could not find any eggs, and I thought, wow, they really hid these eggs really well. So I contacted the Easter Bunny, the main bunny.
Right.
And I said, hey, bunny, we're looking for our eggs and we can't find them. And so the Easter Bunny checked in with the Easter Bunny helper. Mm-hmm. And it turns out the Easter Bunny helper got the wrong house. And they were at our neighbor's house. So I called our neighbor Skeet and I said, Skeet, eggs have been delivered to the wrong place. Is it okay if we come and hunt our eggs in your yard?
Yes.
And he said, absolutely.
Now, is the neighbor's name Skeet, or is that just what you call him?
His name is, well, he goes by Skeet.
Okay.
I think his name is Ronald, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure what his given name is, but he goes by Skeet.
Okay.
And wonderful guy.
Say, hey, Skeet. You just didn't come up with that nickname on yourself.
I didn't just dub him Skeet.
Okay.
His name is actually Skeet.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we went by and had a wonderful time finding the eggs then. But so it all turned out really well.
So the Easter Bunny helper really did hide them well.
So well, we never would have found them.
Right. Had you not called in.
Had I not checked in with Bunny Central.
All right. Well, I'm glad it went well. Ours went well.
Yes.
We found lots of chocolate. Reed did pick up all the eggs, but then he got, I don't know, halfway through and then realized, and then started opening them. So then we were like, no, you have to pick them all up. We'll open them inside. So then he would open them inside, but he'd come to that egg he'd already emptied, and he'd just throw it. So
when we were in our neighbor's yard hunting eggs, the very first egg that Brinley found, she opened it up and took out the candy and threw the egg down and started to eat the candy.
Like, I'm done.
She was finished, but we fought through.
Yes.
We continued on. We forged on.
Well, you had to after all that.
Yes. Anyway, it made me think of another unfortunate Easter egg incident.
Oh, okay.
When I was a young boy, I have an older brother named Rick. He's 2.5 years older than me. And when we were kids, Rick was a little too old in his mind to go Easter egg hunting, but I still wanted to. Mm-hmm. So my parents hid eggs in our backyard, and I was looking in our backyard and finding them all over the place. We had just pulled our swing set up out of the ground, so there were holes in the yard, and I thought, that's the perfect place for an Easter egg. And I looked down in one of the holes, and I saw two little eyes looking up at me.
Uh-oh.
And I called for my dad, and he looked down there and he said, "Jerry, get away." Then he went inside and came out a few minutes
I want to
later
know this story.
with a wire coat hanger straightened out in a hoe, and he pulled out a copperhead out of that hole. So that was my last Easter egg hunt as a child.
Then you were too big for Easter
And
egg
then I
hunting?
suddenly grew up.
Yeah.
I was suddenly
Grew
too
up
old
real
to Easter egg
fast.
hunt. Yes.
Wow.
It was not enjoyable.
Okay. Well, the next thing I want to talk about, Jerry, is how you've upgraded your note cards there.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us why? Because here's what I think. I think it's easier to see.
They are easier to see, but it's about visual proportion. Here are what I have been using, and if I hold them with my hands, cover them up.
Yeah.
Now we've upgraded our drink and dairy budget has increased with some of the sponsors that we've had.
They were just donated.
And so I'm able to use larger cards that fit my frame. It's all about framing.
Okay.
So today I have larger cards. I have on my colorblind glasses because I wanted to see the purple.
There it is.
I'm very happy to see that.
Yes.
And the red checkered tablecloth.
All right. There we go again. I was going to try not to say all right this episode, but
Habits.
habits. So I'm going to move on to the thing I'm most excited about, okay? There are only a few days in the year that are as special as a day that is coming up near and dear to me.
Christmas.
Uh-huh. That's not it?
Birthday.
Eh.
Anniversary.
Yes.
Steve. I'm out of guesses. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So you're on the right track with Christmas. There's Christmas and Easter are very holy days, and this day is up there, not as holy, but right underneath.
I know what it is.
What is it?
It's in September. It's opening day for Sooner football.
No, it is not. This is way more important than Sooner football.
Oh, well, what is it?
This is the
we can't wait.
opening of Chick-fil-A!
Oh!
And Anna, I'm very excited. I should own stock in Chick-fil-A. That is how much. Also, is this a bad time to ask for a raise?
Debbie?
Just kidding. Steve's asking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Steve's asking for you, or Steve's asking
Steve's
for a raise?
Well, so he can, we can keep the house.
Yes.
Right, No, I love Chick-fil-A.
It is very good.
It's my favorite. I used to eat, before marriage, there would be days I'd have Chick-fil-A for breakfast and dinner.
Their breakfast is really good.
It's delicious.
It is. The little tiny nuggets and the little tiny rolls
Uh-huh.
with the little tiny hash
And
browns.
some of the, honey butter brushed on there.
Yep.
But just enough. Not too much.
The sunrise smoothie. I don't know if they have that anymore, but that was good for
The
a while.
milkshakes.
The milk shakes. Yeah.
So, pre-quarantine, if you were the first 100 people to spend the night in the Chick-fil-A parking lot the night before their grand opening, you got all kinds of free stuff. But the main thing is you got a year free of Chick-fil-A. So
Wow.
you got 52 combo meal cards for free to use.
My goodness.
So in college, naturally, I stayed the night because I got to eat,
Yeah.
And I can't remember when the opening was, but it was either into July, August, and my cards were gone by mid-September.
I thought it was one a week. They intended one a week.
Right.
But you used one a day.
Pretty much, yeah. I would share because I would want to go to Chick-fil-A and my friends wouldn't have money, and so
Yeah.
I'll cover you, but yeah, they're 6 weeks, maybe 8.
It is a big deal.
They were gone. So, you can't do that, I don't think, tomorrow night or whatever. But they said there's going to be lots of prizes on opening day, so if you go.
On the 16th, opening day the 16th.
Yes, April
Thursday.
16th in Anna. I was thinking about making my own quarantine suit and just hanging out there all day.
The quarantine suit of a cow?
Yes.
I would like
It
that.
would be
yeah.
black trash bags with
Uh-huh.
white spots, or white trash bags with black spots.
Yeah.
Either way. And then, yeah. So
That's
anyways,
exciting.
I'm
That
very
is exciting news.
Yes.
I don't have anything near that exciting happening in my life right now.
No. Well, you too can go to Chick-fil-A. It's
I'm-
just there in Anna.
I will go to Chick-fil-A, and I'll be excited.
I'm very excited. Steve gave up fast food for Lent, and so he's super excited.
And so, yeah, Lynn's over
He's
now.
like, can we just get a tray, right, on Thursday, just a tray, and just eat them all?
That sounds like a plan.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for you.
Anything else?
Announcements.
All right. It's time for announcements. Would you like me to go first? You want to go bing, 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 bing? Or bung, bung, bung?
I would like to, I think that's a great idea. Let's go. You can start. Then we'll be yin and yang.
Okay.
Yin and yang.
You know what'd be
Not
fun-
ying. Is it?
I don't know.
Yin yang,
I
yin
didn't
yang.
even notice. I'll do my first announcement, but I'll only do the first half of the first announcement. And then you do the second half of your first announcement to make it one confusing announcement.
I'm confused.
Okay.
All right, yin.
All right. So our first announcement is youth will be on Zoom on Wednesday. Meeting ID and password have been emailed to the parents. So please join us for youth on this Wednesday. It's combined middle school and high school this Wednesday. So join us. It's going to be fun.
Sunday was fun. Cardines was fun.
Cardines was fun.
Was fun. Thank you for all the youth and families that participated.
Yeah, that was fun.
Let me
I think somebody's still hiding though.
It may be so.
I have to
I
tell
think that
them
might have
it's
been.
over.
I wanted to remind us the different ways that we can give during this time of separation. Although we're not worshiping together physically on Sunday morning, we're still getting together online. And so if you would like to continue to give, we could certainly use that. Our ministries continue on, although we're not still physically here. So if you could continue to help support our ministries, there's two different ways you can do that. You can give online either at our website or at the Facebook page. The Facebook page has a buy now, I think it is. Shop now,
donate.
thank you.
Yeah, it doesn't say
We're
donate.
still working on our nonprofit status with Facebook. That will eventually be a donate button. But right now it's shop now, so you can click on that and still give electronically, or you can go to our website and give online. Also, you can go ahead and send a check in if you would like to the church at P.O. Box 125, Van Alstyne, Texas 95495.
75495.
75495.
You're so close.
I was very close.
Hey, speaking of websites,
Yes,
our website has gotten a little facelift.
it has.
Kristen Cooley has been working very hard on updating our website into 21st century. Yeah, that's where we are now.
We are.
Okay. So 21st century. So thank you, Kristen Cooley. If you want to go check it out, it's still under construction, but you can start looking around and click on the giving button. That one works for sure. It's vafumc.com. So go check it out.
And also, you'll notice our new logo.
The
that
new logo.
Kristen has been working incredibly hard in many ways, and she has designed a wonderful new logo
Yes.
for the church. And you can check that out, and I think you'll be pleased with that as well.
Yeah. It looks good.
It does. It looks great. And I know you've helped a little bit.
A little bit,
with
but
it.
not near as much as
Not as much
Kristen
as
has
Kristen, but we also want to thank Kelly for helping us out. Continuing to talk about ministries that are going on as we are in our isolation. We're still continuing to help meet the needs of those in our community through Gales Pantry and Kids Eat Free. Don't forget, this Wednesday is Gales Pantry at 5:30 up here at the Sanford Activity Center. If you know someone that needs some food during this time, please let them know to be by here. Drive under the portico at 5:30, and we'll be glad to give them a bag of groceries.
Excellent.
Do you have any other
I have
announcements?
one more announcement, but it involves me changing the background because we have a new segment, Around
yes.
Town with the Pastor.
I'm excited.
Okay.
Pastor Jerry here for Around Town with the Pastor. This is a little different than the way we normally do Around Town with the Pastor. Usually once a month we'll meet at a different location, a different restaurant in Van Alstyne on the third Thursday of each month between 12 and 1:15. We'd have a time of fellowship, we'd have some good food, and even better visit and conversation and just enjoying each other's company. But because of the COVID-19 and the coronavirus that's kind of taken over our state and our country and even the world, we're trying to do what we can to keep each other safe and healthy, and also do what we can to try to help flatten the curve of COVID-19. So we're changing up Around Town with the Pastor. So each week, I'll be going to a different location in our community. If you have a location you would like for me to visit, please send an email or a phone call to the church office, and I'll be glad to try to visit that location. Each week I'll try to offer a scripture or a thought or a story or something to kind of help us through this time together. Today, I'm out at the Panther baseball field and the Lady Panther softball field. Usually this time of the year, the Panthers and the Lady Panthers would be playing baseball and softball, but because of COVID-19, they had to cancel their season very early. I'm quite disappointed. I was certainly hoping to watch the guys and the ladies play and enjoy some good softball and baseball. But while I'm here, it got me thinking. I was thinking about as a young boy when I got into sports. I tried them all as a little boy. I tried football for a season. I tried some baseball, some t-ball for a couple of years, and I tried basketball. And basketball is really kind of what I connected with through elementary school, through middle school, through high school. I think back about when I first started playing, when I first started learning the game of basketball. It was through the YMCA. It was we had a team full of brand new boys and girls learning the sport, learning how to dribble, learning how to pass, learning how to shoot, learning the rules of the game. Our games were held in elementary gyms, so when the families came, when the parents came, there was no place to sit. There were no bleachers, so they had to line up against the wall and either stand during the game or sit on the floor and lean against the wall. My mother and father were at every game I ever played, and at this particular game, at the very first time I began to learn the game of basketball, we had a new rule. We had a rule that since we're learning the game, when you would not play defense until the player with the ball crossed over half court. On this particular game early in the season, I was one that got the ball in the inbounds play. I was bringing the ball across the backcourt. I crossed the half-court line and was immediately covered by two defenders of the other team. Now, just to my right, my mother and father were sitting watching the game, and my father and mother could see my teammate just on the other side of these two defenders. I couldn't see him, but my mother and father could. So my father started calling out to me, "Over here, Jerry, throw it over here." So I threw it to my dad out of bounds. After that, he was still very faithful in attending all of my games, whether I was playing in the marching band in high school or playing basketball games or singing choir concerts throughout college. But although he was present, he never said another word. But I knew that he was there. Just his presence itself brought me comfort and joy, just knowing that he was there to support me and encourage me. When I was in college in Oklahoma at East Central University, I sang with two different groups. I sang with the chorale and with the larger group, the choir, the university choir. The chorale had a concert one time a little bit out of town. It was about 2.5 hours northeast Oklahoma from where I was attending school. About a good additional 2 hours, 2.5 hours if you're coming from Louisville. I wasn't expecting to see anybody there that I knew. So you can imagine my surprise when during the warm-ups, I looked out into an empty auditorium, and there in the very back row in the corner was a man I didn't recognize at first. It took me a while to realize that was my dad. He'd gotten a new pair of glasses, and I didn't recognize him in his glasses and even in the dark. But he had driven about 4.5, maybe even 5 hours one way just to come and sit for a few hours and listen to me and the rest of our chorale sing. After the concert was over, he got back in the car and drove back home. I think about my dad and my mother and their continuing support all throughout my life. Just their presence with me was a reminder that I'm loved, that I'm supported. It was a way of encouraging me. And during this time of uncertainty, during this time of anxiety, and for many of folks, even a time of fear with COVID-19, we may feel alone. We may feel like we're out here by ourselves and just trying to make it through, just trying to survive. But I want to let you know, you are not alone. The church family at First United Methodist Church in Van Alstyne is here for you, to love you, to encourage you, to support you, to help you out however we can. But also, there is a God, your Creator and your Savior, who love you. And although we may not always hear Him, we may not always see Him, we can know that He is there to love us and support us and help us through dark times in life and the challenges that we have. I'm reminded of the scripture of Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10, where we read these words: "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Please know that we love you. We are here for you. You are not alone. And not only do we love you at First Methodist Church, but God loves you too.
Well, Jerry, thanks for bringing us a new version of Around Town with the Pastor and keeping that going. That was great.
I had a wonderful time, and thank you again to Steve Floyd for this wonderful idea to keep doing it. Just a reminder, I'm going to try to each week to go to a different location. So if you have a suggestion on some place in Van Alstyne that is not populated that you would like for me to visit, let me know.
Okay, excellent. So we'll go right into your favorite segment and mine, sports.
Yes.
Do we actually have something to talk about this week?
I do.
Okay.
I have a few things.
Hit us up with some touchdowns. I forgot what a touchdown symbol is.
It's been
so long.
It's been so long. It's been so long. Actually, there are some things that are breaking in the sports world.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
I heard today that the Cowboy running back, Zeke Elliott, is no longer the highest paid running back in the NFL. Christian McCaffrey, who is great, he is now the highest paid running back. I forget what it is, but good for Christian.
Especially when, is there going to be a next season? I don't know.
I don't know, but you couldn't tell the Cowboys that. They are still setting their season ticket deadline. You have to buy your season tickets by a certain time, like in May. Instead of, we don't even know when the season is going to start,
Or
but they're still.
Fans or...
My namesake Jerry Jones is insisting that folks, at least last I heard, they're insisting that you get your season tickets when you're regularly scheduled time.
Okay.
I think that's wrong.
Wow.
But if he gives me a call soon, I will pass that on.
It.
I will. I will say this. Last night, was it last night? No, Sunday night. Sunday night I settled down in my living room with a nice glass of milk and my remote in hand, excited for some sports.
And
because
what'd you find?
Sunday night, well, besides a lot of replays
Yeah.
that you can find, they aired a new event, NBA Horse. On ESPN.
Yes.
And I was actually excited about this. I tuned in a little early and saw the end of a national spelling bee competition.
Oh.
And I actually got excited about the last 3 or 4 rounds of the spelling bee competition.
Did they have the word so that you knew if they
Yes.
were spelling it? Okay.
They
I'd
gave
been
you the word. And
they would,
these...
the word could be like that. And I'd be like, did he spell it right?
Can I have the origin? Use it in the definition? Are there any other ways to pronounce it? I tell you, those kids are amazing.
Right.
They're like middle school kids. Holy smokes! That does raise up a question. Do you know how to spell Matthew McConaughey's last name?
No.
I don't even want to try.
No. Do you?
I
Is
got
this
it
some
written
kind
down
of,
right
is
here.
this some kind of like boomer sooner joke?
No. I'm just curious. A lot of people
It's
struggle
2 C's.
with Matthew McConaughey or McConaughey.
Yeah.
You want to give it a try?
No.
Okay. All right.
He's doing this new thing out right now where he's some kind of bounty hunter. He's Bobby something.
I don't
I don't
know.
YouTube it. Bobby B. You can call him Bobby B.
Bobby B.
Anyways.
Well, we digress.
Do you want me to try?
Yeah, why don't you try?
MCC
Uh-huh.
ON
Uh-huh.
E.
Ding. That would have been, that's the sign of a spelling bee that is wrong.
Oh. Normally in sports, a ding is like
A ding is a good thing.
Good thing, yeah.
MCCONAUGHEY.
That was so close.
So that's the update for the spelling bee. A young man won it. He did really well. On to sports, and the next episode, the next edition, back to horse.
Back to horse.
Back to horse. They had
Spell it.
H.
I'm sorry, you spell it IT.
Oh, sorry, I lose. But they had some NBA players, both present and past, retired players, and 2 WNBA players in this competition. It was from 6 to 8 Sunday night. They broke it down into different groups. And let me give you an update. Can I give you
Please do.
the scoring update? In the first competition, the first 2 that went at it were Chauncey Billups and Trey Young. You may remember Trey Young was a big breakout star at the University of Oklahoma. That sharpshooting three-pointer that did really well, and I believe now plays for the Atlanta Hawks.
Funny.
I believe he's quite good.
I don't think anybody ever talked to him about going to OU.
Well, you know what? Something else. This is interesting. Something else Trey Young did during this time of isolation. He has actually given out his cell phone number to his fans, so you can actually call him on his cell phone or send him texts probably, and you can have conversations with an NBA superstar.
There you go. I'm going to send him the link to this Drinking Dairy.
I think that's a great idea.
Maybe he can be our first sponsor.
But Trey Young jumped out to a big lead, 0 to HOR in the competition, but Chauncey Billups came storming back and won the day. He came
Hey.
back and he won between the 2 of them.
Well, Chauncey's a girl.
No, Chauncey's a grown man.
Oh, you said it was boys against
Well,
girls.
no, there are some NBA and some WNBA.
Gotcha.
Some of them
My bad.
did do boy against girl, but not this. Chauncey is a full-grown man, and so is Trey Young. But Chauncey Billups came back and pulled it out. The next was
We
a
gotta edit
female.
that out. I can't show that I don't know who Chauncey Billups is.
That's okay. We all live and learn.
Okay.
We all live and learn. We're learning things today.
Mm-hmm.
The next round was between Tamika Catchings.
There you go.
Tamika, yeah.
Catchings.
Yeah. She used to play for the WNBA. She is now going into the Hall of Fame, the Basketball Hall of Fame this year. That's exciting.
Yeah. My
Very
brother
exciting.
actually met Tamika Catchings once.
Really?
Yeah. I was at Tennessee basketball camp, and they were at the Hall of Fame because it just opened.
Uh-huh.
And she was wandering around, and yeah, he got to
Very
meet her.
cool.
I didn't.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
It's always fun to see famous people out in public. Just kind of.
And he was in 6th grade, so he was quite enamored by it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I was jealous.
Well, I can understand. But Tamika Catchings took on Mike Connolly. And Tamika was at a disadvantage because she was outside and it was quite windy.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike was in his home inside gym. So, as unfair as that was, Mike ended up winning. So, on Thursday, the 16th, the day that Chick-fil-A opens, that evening, if you want to tune into ESPN, you can see the first round of Chauncey Billups going against Mike Connolly. And the second hour of competition, we had 2 more go at it. Zach LaVine, the defending slam dunk champion, took on Paul Pierce.
Okay.
the noted Boston Celtics
Yes.
great. And Paul was at his home, and he really didn't stand much of a chance. Zach Levine kind of took it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of lopsided, but Zach won. And then the last competition of the day was Chris Paul, otherwise known as CP3.
Right.
I don't like calling people by their initials. I just prefer to.
Why do you think that is, PJ?
Well, KF. Because I thought if the mama and daddy gave them a name, we should respect that and call them by their names.
Okay.
Except I do call my wife Jerry Beth. I call her JB. So
See.
I know. Let me retract my last statement. CP3 took on Allie Quigley. Allie Quigley is a current WNBA player in Chicago. She plays for the team in Chicago. I don't know what they are. I don't know, but I'm sure they're really good. But she is an incredible three-point shooter. She is a sharpshooter. She is very good, and she did beat Chris Paul. Mm-hmm. She took him down. So on Thursday, the second round of competition is going to be Zach Levine against Allie Quigley. Now, Allie has an advantage because there's no dunking allowed, and she is playing the defending slam dunk champion. So that's good. That's a good thing.
I was going to ask, some people think that men and women's basketball is different because guys play an above the rim game, whereas girls play below the rim game. And in doing so, did that help the girls, the women, win because they have to shoot more because they don't dunk as much?
I have a little bit of bias here. Well, not bias, my opinion. I think women's basketball is just much better, period. Of course, more entertaining for me at least.
There you go.
College level, high school, and professional. Because although they are physically talented in many ways, they don't have some of that above the rim play that a lot of people get excited to see. But slam dunk just doesn't do much for me. If you're a good dribbler, a good passer, and a good shooter, that's what I want to watch. Good defender. And there was one shot that Allie Quigley did where she sat down in her parking lot and shot a shot from like the free throw line, sitting down just to the left of the free throw line. Chris couldn't make it.
Nope.
He was done.
Yep.
So that's our horse update.
There you go. Look at us talking about sports.
Yeah, isn't it fun?
For longer than a minute.
Yes, I'm excited.
Okay. Also, NBA's planning on coming back soon. They're trying.
Something.
Hopefully in like 25 days or something. Or they have a plan or something. And then Major League Baseball is trying to get something going.
Yeah, they're talking about maybe everybody going out to Arizona or someplace like that. One of the hottest places in the world. And try to play day games in 120-degree weather.
Good thing there's no fans.
Good. Maybe they do need
Smoke
fans.
them out. Maybe. Oh, see what you did there.
Let's see what I did. That's the double
Look,
play.
there's my biggest fan. And it's a fan.
It was.
Jerry, I know that you love softball.
Yes.
Do you enjoy baseball too? Not as much, but enjoy.
I will watch Red Sox games and enjoy Red Sox games, and I will enjoy Ranger games. Mm-hmm. I don't enjoy baseball enough where I could just sit down and just watch anybody. Softball, I'll sit down and watch anybody play, just because it is so much fun to watch.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, it's they did a I don't know, sports science thing or whatever, and they proved that it's harder to hit a softball than a baseball. Even though the softball is coming slower, it is from a closer distance, so that made it harder for the batter to be able to react.
Everything is so much closer. The reaction time is incredible what those women and those girls do.
All right.
Now, I'm very sad.
Uh-oh.
Because every year I do get tickets
to
the Women's Softball World Series in Norman, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And this year, I already bought my tickets, and it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
But next year, 2021.
That's right. And it'll just be all the more because you had to miss a year.
It'll be that much more exciting.
Exactly. So, all right.
Yes.
Well, that'll do us for sports. Stay tuned. All right. For our next guest on Drink and Dairy with Kelly and Jerry, we Anitra Jones. Welcome, Anitra.
Hello.
Thanks for being with us.
Cheers.
Cheers. She's beating us.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to have a fellow bovine liquid connoisseur, a dairy drinker. I don't know. We're so glad to have Anitra with us today. Anitra is a dear friend of mine and my wife's, Jerry Beth. My wife, Jerry Beth's. Anitra and Matt and their son Ryland recently moved here to Van Alstyne. Anitra has a business here in Van Alstyne, Titan Therapy. And I would like for her to tell us a little bit about that. Would you tell us a little bit about Titan Therapy and what you all do?
Sure. The name of our company is Titan Therapy and Nursing Management. And our company is a staffing company. So we work with about 40 different home health agencies in the North Texas area. And we provide physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and medical social workers to different home health patients. Home health patients being patients that are homebound and need rehabilitative care at home so that they can get back out and back into the community.
So if we have folks in our church or on the community that may be watching this that would like to be in contact with Titan Therapy, what's the easiest way to reach you all?
The easiest way to reach us is you can call us or visit our website. Our website is www.titantnm.com. Our phone number is 903-624-4506. Or you can reach out to me individually and I can guide and direct you as to which way to go. We do have a lot of patients that had difficulty getting set up on home health with the fact that maybe certain home health agencies in the area don't accept their insurance or they can't, they don't accept their insurance. Most of the time it's just a payer source issue. So if you reach out to me, I can help navigate a lot of those issues with you and find you a home health agency that will be able to suit your needs.
Wonderful. Well, one of the reasons that we have Anitra here with us today is because we find ourselves in this strange time with the quarantine, and we're not actually able to get out and to go places and to be as active as maybe we would like to be or as much as we've been in the past. And so we have a couple of questions for her on what it is that we can do.
All right, Anitra. So, first of all, what are some of the effects of exercising?
Some of the effects of exercise. So actually, when you exercise, your body emits endorphins, and they are feel-good endorphins. So when you exercise, you actually feel better. You feel good about yourself. You feel like you have a sense of accomplishment because you've been able to go through a task and complete a task. Other things that make you feel good from exercising are actually some of the benefits of exercise. If you have osteoarthritis pain and if you exercise, usually it helps to decrease the pain. So that in turn is a benefit of exercising. If you, hold on just a second, I've got to look at my notes. Oh, obviously weight loss is another benefit of exercise. I think the biggest part of exercise is that it gives you that sense of accomplishment, and it makes you feel like you've actually done something throughout the day, and so you're more inclined to want to try to do it again.
Excellent. Hey, speaking of endorphins, do you think that Carol Baskins exercised? Or maybe that if she had, maybe she wouldn't have killed her husband?
I think that Carol Baskins worked her bicep muscles trying to fit her husband into the Tigers.
Okay. Excellent.
Everything always finds its way back to Tiger King.
Back to Tiger King. All right, so back to being serious. Anitra, what can we do at home? If we can't get out and go to the gym or whatever, what are some things we can do at home for exercising?
I think that I'll answer that question a few ways. In my experience, I've mainly dealt with elderly population, so a lot of the patients that I've seen, they've not been as mobile, or as able to exercise like maybe you or I might be able to exercise.
I think she's talking about she and I, not you.
She
and
keeps looking. It feels like she's looking right at me when she says this. So
My screen froze up. I'm sorry.
that's okay.
So if you're having difficulty getting around, moving around, the biggest thing I can say is that if you will just find time to even stand up. So one habit that we tend to get into, especially as you're watching the whole season of Tiger King, is you may just lay around and watch TV. If you try to find time to at least stand up, get up off the couch every commercial break, that will help benefit not only your cardiovascular system, but it'll also help benefit your legs. It'll give you a work on your balance. Just that static standing will help improve your balance. But just trying to get up during every commercial break is one simple way, if you're a little bit debilitated, to help you get stronger. If you are a younger person, one thing that you can do to exercise is to be purposeful in trying to go maybe for a walk every day. If you have animals, take your animals outside, take them for a long walk, and make it something that is small and routine. You don't want to try to accomplish all these tasks all at once. I think the biggest thing I see why people fail with exercising is they start hard and fast. They do, exercise so hard and so fast, and they walk as much as they can, or even go for a run day one, and then you get to day 7 and their body is just physically just exhausted. You have to kind of pace yourself into it. Take the time, just make one little small change a day, and then after that becomes routine, add on another thing that becomes one small change that will help build up. In the end, you'll be able to tolerate a whole lot.
Well, I think that's good because I guess it's called atrophy, when your muscles atrophy when you sit for a long time, or you're still for a long time, or you don't use certain muscles regularly. They atrophy or weaken, and I could see how that may be something that we would have to be aware of when we're just stuck at home and not a whole lot to do, that we keep our bodies from atrophying, and our spirits, our minds, and just getting complacent and losing kind of what we've built up. One of the things you and I talked about the other day, once we get kind of past the self-quarantine and we're able to be back together, although we may still need to practice some physical distancing even when we're around each other, maybe offering something to folks in the church during the week, that maybe we could come together and still have some exercise or movement. Well, what are some thoughts maybe that you could offer that you would be able to help us with that?
Yes, I actually would love to be able to host a get-together at the church, where people could come and just move. It doesn't have to be strenuous exercise. Even coming and dancing to some music is a good form of exercise. You're laughing, you're smiling, you're having a wonderful time. Then also there's, exercise can be modified depending, where you are in your physical process. There's a lot of benefit to just some range of motion exercise, and that just means, just bending your arm, straightening your arm. You can add some resistance into that. I would love to be able to kind of teach people some of the knowledge that I have, so that you're able to go back to your homes and to do it on your own, so that you, in the long run, you're healthier, just because of maybe some of the information I've shared with you or taught you that once a week at the church.
Well, I've got one more question. Do you have another question for her?
No,
Can I move on to my last question?
I think I'm all out.
Are you questioning that? I know that Anitra and her husband are not just ones that talk about it and promote it, but they are also very physically active in many different ways. And before the quarantine, you all took up a very interesting and very interesting hobby, event, competition. What is it that you and Matt had recently started doing?
My husband and I compete in Highland Games competitions. So we basically wear kilts and we throw telephone poles and rocks and weights up as high as we can over our head.
That sounds like fun.
It's all
It is
about
a lot of
using what you have.
It's about using what you
That's
have.
right.
That's right. Being
Yes.
resourceful.
That's right.
And so if we find just telephone poles laying around our house or giant boulders, we can do some tossing.
Chunk 'em.
All
Yep.
right. Well, thank you so much for being our guest today. We're so glad you were able to join us. And we look forward to being out of our time of separation, that we can all get back together and maybe start doing some of this exercising with one another.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate you both.
Well, please tell Matt and Ryland we said hello.
Thanks, Anitra.
Well, thanks, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Thanks for joining us again for another episode of Drinking Dairy with Kelly and Jerry. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, Kelly. This was fun
This
again.
was fun. I'm glad we filmed today so I could go to some Chick-fil-A on
Thursday.
Thursday, the 16th.
And thank you to Anitra Jones, our guest. Our wonderful
Very
guest
special.
for the week.
Yes. All right. Until next time, stay home
Wash your hands.
and
Keep your milk cold.
cold.